what could VR provide a solution for? What are the positives of VR? Like, what's something that we could look forward to?
Well, like we're actually seeing a lot of the stuff. So one thing people don't know, you said Ready Player One. If you watch the movie, of every technology that they used is something that's actually a prototype right now. That omnidirectional treadmill he was on is by Infinitec. That's already a real thing. And so there's a lot of sides of it we just don't know about because we see the usual, the Oculus Quest or something. But there's so much in development that's coming. And there's a lot of experimentation that's going on. There's experimentation with immersion therapy, people who are afraid of spiders getting close to a virtual spider, knowing there's no real danger, trying to get over their fear of that. All kinds of therapies. The medical field, people are learning to do surgeries in virtual reality because you don't have to experiment on a cadaver, far be it a real person, and try to figure it out. You can change the way we train people, and it can be so much better for anything they want to do. And when I say train, I'm not just talking work, because that's what people always think work. I mean, I've been doing supernatural VR boxing for like the last 4 months now. I've been doing it every day really religiously, and like I still haven't gone to train with like a real boxing coach. It's not really something I was ever interested in, but now I'm just curious. I'm like, man, they really talk to you well about form. I'm like, I'm so curious. Like, I kind of want to just go for one session and talk to them and see if they're like, wow, you are terrible at this. Or they're like, oh, wow, have you had some training? Because I wonder, like, is this actually helping develop a skill that I couldn't have had without virtual reality? I have no idea. And so it can improve and change your lives. And that's how I look at VR right now. It should add to the richness and fullness of your life. Instead of just hanging out with my friends on a Discord call, I can go play mini golf on top of a cliff with them. I'm still doing the same conversation, I'm having the same fun, but it's a better version of that experience. And that's what this should enable us to do, is better versions of everything we would have already liked to do. But the applications are, I mean, it has the potential to change everything in the world. There's even some places that are experimenting people's jobs, a job that needs a physical person, like a stock person at a store. They put on a headset and control a robot, because the robot's not at the point yet it can do it, and go stock the shelves through this robot. Like, imagine if that was this gig economy we deal with now, and how that's its whole own thing. But imagine you just put your headset on for an hour when you feel like it, stock some shelves in the store, pop it off, and you've just made $25. Like, how easy would it be to do work like that instead of having to go, like, get in your car, get your phone on, go to a restaurant, wait for food, go deliver it? Like, that could really change the way you look at how work can be. And if they have enough people all the time who are kind of jumping in and out of these, this store might not even have to have any actual employees. It's always got a pool of people that are just jumping in and doing the work, and it does just as well.
Yeah, it's like
It's
kind of turning work into a game, because
Yeah.
I think, is there a VR game where you can sort of wash a car?
Pressure wash. There's a pressure
I've heard
washing
about
one
it.
that people have done VR mods, but like Job Simulator, even, like, it's a fun game, but it's kind of like doing work. Like, it's a funny version of it. But yeah, if you make that into a game, and I feel like most people, I have a theory that most people, if you said, hey, I'm just going to pay you $10,000 a month for the rest of your life, you can do whatever you want. Eventually, 6 months to a year, when they've kind of detoxed from work culture, they're going to want to find something useful to do at their time. They may not want to work 8 hours every day, but they might want to spend 2 or 3 hours on something they like or are interested in doing. And it could get to the point, maybe that's going to enable us, alongside automation, that we can jump in and like do some random job to see what it's like and learn it virtually, but it's not something we have to do to live and survive. So that's some of the, like, the things I hope and look forward to possibly being that, because I think that I would love to. I've always thought it'd be kind of cool to just, like, for a year, work one day at a different job every day. So you get to understand what it's really like for everyone that's worked all these different jobs. If everyone had to be a janitor for a day, the whole world would just be a cleaner place, because people wouldn't make the horrible messes they do knowing someone has to deal with that.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Yeah, and then there's also, well, one the first thing that popped into my head was, like, you're talking about flight simulator. Imagine,
Mhm.
instead of delivering food, you jump onto your computer, or you jump into your VR and you're flying a drone to someone's
Mhm.
house to drop off food.
Yeah. And instead of points, it's dollars. You don't
Yeah,
hit an object, you get it there faster. You, like, do it more efficiently, and you make a little bit more money, but it's kind of like you're playing a game, but you're getting real money for that at the same time. I'd try that.
the only problem is if you crash it and drop the food, then you're going to lose some money. You're going to lose some
And you
points.
lose all your points for the day.
Everything you've earned up to there, you've lost it. Game over, and you have to start.
Real, and you get 3 game overs and you're banned from that one forever. Yeah.
But then I guess the problem with it being a game, well, game type. Well, I guess it wouldn't go this far, but I heard a while ago about surgeons looking into VR because you've only got a limited amount of the best surgeons in the world. If there's a surgeon in Australia, but someone needs treatment in Sweden, for example, but the time is of the essence where they won't be able to fly there in time. Once it gets to a certain point, they could just log onto their VR and perform the surgery through a robot. And so it will help in the sense of emergency, and it will help in closing down a time is a big problem for, well, whether you believe in time or not. It's a big problem for people in the sense that if something takes too long, it could be critical, fatal. So it could have the benefit of having a surgeon be at the other side of the country and perform a procedure which is life, well, saving.
Yeah, I just got LASIK last month, and the surgeon never touched me, never had to.
What's
I was on a
LASIK?
LASIK. It's laser eye surgery to correct your vision, so you no
Oh,
longer need
laser eye
glasses or
surgery. Right.
contacts.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And so I was laying on a bed that moved to accommodate which eye was under the machine. The machine moved down, latched onto my eye and cut it with a laser. The other machine moved in and used the laser inside my eye to change it, and then everything got put back on. And it was all done through machines. Like the surgeon was there running the machines, but he never had to do any part of it. And I think about, like, when you realize that that's possible, yeah, I could
So
have
it was
had
100% automated.
he was controlling them, but it was 100% either him controlling the machine or the surgical assistants that like grabbed my eyelids and put like a clamp in them or
Yeah.
something like that. Like, there was no reason he actually had to be there.
Yeah, because
He
he could have
was.
been on a led down on a
Yeah.
beach somewhere, just controlling it through his laptop.
Yeah, and that's scary for most people to think something that serious could be done remotely. But just like you've said, if you have the expert, the technology has to catch up. We have to have the robotics, the automation has to be good enough. But if it were, he could have been anywhere doing that to me, and it wouldn't have been any different.
I guess it would have been different for you because you would have felt reassured knowing the surgeon was in the room, but he could have done practically the exact same thing being in Australia.
Yeah, yeah. We're on the cusp of something. That's why I say, when we talk about metaverse, I don't believe that the concepts that we think right now are exactly what it's going to be. I think that just like the internet 30 years ago in its inception, no one would have ever thought that it's changed. I mean, we're sitting here filming something together across the world. People had no idea how much more it was going to enable us to do as a society. And I think the idea of a metaverse will see that same change over time as we realize, oh, wow, we can change everything with it.